Bro.
It's time to create your own path.
Kumayu ila na wewe yuza kraku waila.
What the fuck? You can unlock telekinesis in this game. Epic. Biomutant. Yeah. I love this game. I didn't play it in a while, actually. I love this game. I don't mind, I'm just streaming right now anyway.
Could this thing steer itself?
Yeah. Is it linked already? Yeah, you probably need to make a video. I don't normally post YouTube videos. I'm gonna post more now, but I'm just doing mostly TikToks now.
A solid fixer-upper over there.
I do 400
Wonder if
TikToks
you
mostly.
need to get the Optica controls in order to start it. Excellent. That's illuminating.
Ooh, legendary. So much to do in this game, it's actually hilarious. No, but you can burn down a village. No. Oh gosh. I wanna. Where the? What? Oh, what's this? Is this a vault? Did I do this for you? Oh, what's that? Oh, fucking. What the fuck is that creature? It's literally, there's so many like animals and things you fight. There's so many different enemy types. It's crazy. Like I'm what's it? And the side quests are so fucking
Bang
fun.
shelter 10G.
They're all different as well. The side
Wonder
quests.
if anyone survived anything in there.
Bro. This game's super hard though sometimes because I'm playing on the highest difficulty.
You're brutal.
Yeah, I normally play on normal if it's good story. But this game's got a good story, but it's like a lot of it's based on combat, so I went for the extreme difficulty. I don't know why, but I'm re-downloading Destiny 2.
Easy for things to hide down here.
Yeah, because like I have good shit on Destiny 2. I've got the you know, the Vigilance Wing. I've got that on full auto. It's disgusting. Is it that Void Rifle? The black one, the black and purple one. Yeah, I got that as well. It's just I didn't play that game in a while, and the problem with that game, it's the enemy type. Yeah, it's the DLCs, but like they could have just updated it really, because if they just gave like people that didn't have the DLC more enemy types, it would be completely fine. It's just the enemy types are just so like, you know, constantly the same. There's nothing different. Like in this game, it's so fun because it's like every single area you go to, you see different enemy types in different like places, and you have to make different builds. So like there's certain areas where they're contaminated with something, so they'll be contaminated with biohazard, or they'll be contaminated with radiation, and you have to make a build of armor to go with that, or you upgrade your character to have resistance to it. So I'm upgrading my character to have resistance to it, that I don't have to make a build specifically for certain places. I can just use whatever's strongest. It's a lot of stuff you could do in this game, and the side missions give you real good like guns and swords and shit. Like I got a rolling pin that I've done 100 and like it is 100 and I think 20 fire damage, like a rolling pin. Bruh, it's crazy. Oh.
How far does this underplace go on?
No.
That made it all worth it.
Yeah. The Celts? Okay. This fucking thing is so steep. Oh, can I stream and... I think I can. Let's check. I think I've done it before. Maybe, I'm not sure. I have no clue. I don't think it's wise to do that though. But it might be necessary. Like I know for a fact, Eastern Russia, there's a lot of East and Western Russia is very different. I know that. What? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah, obviously. Obviously, yeah.
Might want to check out that old home there to see if there's anything in it.
Are you watching this? Oh! I've done that share stream.
Slice and dice.
No. But even if I was gay, I wouldn't want it to be they need to find a way of teaching it to kids, but not in a way that it needs to be a gradual thing. I don't know why people like, yeah.
There's no time to look back. Too busy
It is,
moving
yeah.
on.
I feel like as a guardian, as a parent, that should be taught. It should not be taught in schools. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Who'd leave rubber scrap lying around?
Yeah. That's just because of male desire. That's mostly why. I'm about to raid this place. I'm share screening, so you can watch me if you want.
Let's see.
I'm also streaming on YouTube, but it's best to go on a share screen. It's easier for you. Oh shit! What's in here?
The Underfoot outpost, right where the Pichu tribe dug it up. There's the tyrant who runs this outpost.
I already got real strong weapons because I've done those side quests.
He didn't expect his tribe to lose.
Oh, it's this one. Okay, cool.
It's their last line of defense. Once their
Oh, it's so
guardians
quick.
fail so
I've done so many side quests. It's so quick to kill these guys. Fucking okay.
The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. He says you did a great job. Figure...
Yeah.
Easy to forget how dangerous this world can be.
Yeah.
Says the gates will remain.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, can you put your mic on share, please? It ain't. I checked the stream. No, I ain't.
I clicked always allow at one point. Oh, that must have been another setting for broadcasting or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And not the party settings. It must be the party audio that I had turned off. But I knew I had voices for broadcasting turned on and stuff.
Then I could just talk to you in the stream. Ooh. Boom, boom. Someone's watching right now, I think. Oh, that was me, I think, because I just turned on the stream.
That's me. When your only viewer is yourself.
Yeah. An old Pichu tribe.
I feel that, though. That was me when I was doing YouTube.
No time to graze. Let's go.
My most viewed video had like 500 and something views.
Mine was 10k, I think.
But I'm pretty sure someone did something like that, like got a bot so they could try to get the video taken down. Because it was like all in one night that all these views happened. And people kept, I know people flagged my channel for like child endangerment and shit like that.
Why?
So I ended up getting strikes. Because they're assholes and they just didn't want me to upload videos. They wanted to take something from me or just people like dicks, bro.
Says they've been waiting.
Like, even if you're not a big YouTuber, people just like want to bother you because bother you. If it means something to you, they'll take it. And that's what pisses me off in the world. And because people like that get no punishment besides, oh, we'll just ignore them. It's like, yeah.
And they're falsely
People like
accused
that should be
someone, they don't get
locked up.
punishment, yeah.
People like that should be locked up for like, for ruining people's careers or time and effort. Like people, I spent a year on this channel. I wouldn't have spent a year recording shit.
Oh, if someone got my channel banned, I'll be so pissed. I had it for 3 years now.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think I've had mine for over like 3 or 4 because I had it in high school and shit.
Yeah.
Like, it pissed me off, bro. And then people like Jacksepticeye and shit like that. I wonder how the fuck they got all big. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, the YouTubers started from struggle. No, I started from struggle. I started recording on a phone. I ain't ever seen Jacksepticeye or Markiplier or any of them start on a goddamn
No,
Android phone.
They probably did. They just take down the videos. Most of them, they take down the audio videos.
No,
They
they
private
started
them.
out. They started out playing video games, like Amnesia and shit.
Yeah, but Amnesia was readily accessible for like everybody. It was like one of those games that like it was like a low end game. It was an indie game. So.
But like,
You're a
they even
long
had
way from the
cameras and
sun.
shit like that, and their own recording setup and mics, and
They had
They-
they had like shitty webcams. It wasn't like
They had-
amazing.
they had editing equipment and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Cracked versions. That's for sure.
But still, though, they had
Yeah.
what, like all the stuff, and they still had some money to do something.
But anybody could do that. Really, start off that way. They just need to save
Yeah,
up a bit.
anybody could, but they got lucky enough. They hit the right algorithm.
It's just when they done it basically, and they done the right thing at the right time. That's really it.
Yeah, and it's kind of fucked up.
And on top
most
of
us
that,
are-
you have to do everything in the right time. On top of that, you have to get lucky as well. So it's like,
and that's all I'm saying, right? And it kind of pisses me off because there's like 14-year-olds, literal 14-year-olds, who like are millionaires. And it's like people like me have worked, genuinely worked to like get money, busting our backs off. And
you
this
have to
kid played-
realize, 14-year-olds that are millionaires, they ain't gonna be happy regardless. Because when you're young, when you're rich that young, there's a massive fall from grace.
Yeah,
There's no actual life being lived there. It's just.
But like the kid makes one TikTok or like gets in trouble and screams weird on camera. It goes viral, and then like the kid's all of a sudden like, you know, getting millions of dollars because he made an Instagram account after someone else made him famous.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. If you know the right people and get the right shout outs.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some video editing. I'm gonna learn how to video edit, and I could just literally video edit for a YouTuber, and then I can get exposure that way. It's gonna be more hard work, obviously, but it's more hard work to do it quickly. These other people, they don't put as much hard work. They just constantly upload and do it slowly. Nowadays. Back in the day when PewDiePie was around, yeah, that was fucking hard work, because it was like, it wasn't just uploading, it was like maintaining exactly the same way of things. And like, not getting bored of it, trying out new stuff as well. Like, after he went from Amnesia to doing other stuff, that was like a big risk.
Yeah.
It's like, on my TikTok, if I don't post for on our COD, and I post something else, that's always taking a risk, because that's mostly what I post.
Yeah, for me it was like I'd post Warzone and Apex and stuff. Well, not Warzone, Warface and Apex and all that, so.
These enemies
Yo.
are harder.
You know what I hated? When people were clowning on Dream, bruh. It's like, I don't even watch the dude, but the dude don't even look that bad.
I'm sorry, you look like
Greasy
Lord
goo in their
Farquaad.
pipes
That
now.
I'm
chin
sorry,
of that is
but
crazy.
people be saying shit like that, but he looks like Matt Pat, like,
The outpost found out about the
I think
bad
people just
water
gone
the hard
crazy
way.
about it is because everybody was acting like he was like sexy
The
hunk of a dude,
outpost belongs
and
to
he just
your
looks like
tribe.
like a little skinny nerd. I think that's why
Well,
people
yeah.
why people probably like clowning him a bit.
He says you
And
made
the
them
way
weaker,
and the way
but they
how he
won't
like
give
posted
up.
afterwards after the face reveal,
Your
how like
Sifu
he was kind of
thanks you.
feeling himself a
Your
bit.
tribe
It
is
was just
growing
cringe.
stronger.
yeah, I find that's just gonna take other YouTubers, though, who don't have a face cam, and stop them from revealing their face because they're just gonna be judged. Like, look at PewDiePie back in the olden days.
He says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You're one step
Yeah.
closer to ending the tribe war.
I'm just racing tribes off the face of this world.
Ah.
Little mutant tribes.
Sheesh. They're natives. Let's go, boys. Hey, people. Ahoy.
There's two
The
paths you
day
can go
is
in this game. That you can
always
be light or
brighter.
dark. If you do go dark way, you literally like. I think in the end, there's two
Offers
different
you
ways.
extra.
Then he said,
different ways
which
of
for the
doing things.
beads that you traded my land for?
Oh, I might as well get that horse. Why not? Oh, nah, fuck that. I already got a mechanical horse. I want to try and use that. It looks cool.
Sorry for that fucking tapping noise. Yes, sir. Getting the keef like a motherfucker. I have enough for a bowl. But I'm gonna keep going. Why? Because I'm a greed. Greed and a pain and a hunger that does not stop.
Oh, I can show the mask. That looks dope.
You know what I hate? Americans saying they won the war.
Well, no war is won, truly won anyway. Look at it.
Well, no, like World War II. And shit like that they won the war.
No, they just
It's
they
like,
literally
buddy,
just helped
the
at the
Germans...
end.
Yeah, I was
Like,
about to say, the British, Canadians, and the rest of the Allies weakened the Germans. They already knew the war was going to end not in their favor before the Americans joined.
Yeah. We
But-
were gonna win anyway, regardless. It doesn't
They
matter.
just accept. They didn't accept defeat, but they just kind of were like, all right, yeah, we're not getting our country bombed, like type shit. We're already losing. We're not going to lose everything. So they kind of came to the mindset once those bombs were dropped. But the thing they don't understand
America was
is
just Americans was just cannon fodder for D-Day. That was mostly
for real though,
Yeah.
and like they still get known as one of the best and bravest countries to serve. It's like, buddy, we have like a higher kill count than you though. And we built your guys' planes during the fucking war.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Canada. It was a woman with polio in a factory who ran a Canadian factory and made British, American, and Canadian planes.
Yeah.
Our frontline force, like the Canadians, were one of the leading home forces for manufacturing.
Literally,
arms.
Switzerland done more for the war than America.
Yes!
They
like,
built,
and at
they
least
made the
ran it longer.
weapons. They made all the fucking weapons, bro.
That there is a fume
They
Like,
armed
I-
everybody.
where toxin
I
processed
hate-
gold.
Well, yeah, so did Canada, right? Like, we all made our civilians were one of the best workforces in the military. Like, back home, we had so much support. And that's the thing, unlike the States, we weren't just doctrined our women have kids and wait for us to come back. Our women were told, get the fuck in the factory and start making bullets. Right? Like, do your part in the war. You don't want to fight? Okay, you're gonna make bullets. You're gonna make Air Force, like, pieces for planes and guns and shit like that. That's kind of why they did schooling that way too, eh? And still do it. Like, if you look at a car from 100 years ago and now, look at the huge difference, right? You look at a picture of a telephone from now to 100 years ago, big ass fucking difference. Hell, you look at an apartment building from now and 100 years ago, there's most likely going to be a big difference. If you look at a school, a classroom,
If you look at
now-
the Russian military in 100 years ago, there's no difference at all.
no, but if you,
It's the
if
same
you look
shit
at a
that you-
classroom, right, as like a school,
Yeah.
from now and 100 years ago, there is no fucking difference. You are still put in the same rows, with the same whiteboard or chalkboard up front, taught the same basic fucking skills known as industrialized learning. Now, this was needed when, well, the industrial area, when we needed people to do industrial jobs, work in factories, sit in these tight, neat little rows, you know, raise their hand when they want to speak, ask to go to the bathroom, get a, like, you know, they work 7-hour days, right? They go and they do a whole 7-hour day, and they're told to do this, told to do that. They get bathroom breaks when they ask for them. They get lunch at a certain time and breaks at a certain time, just like you would work. And that is known as industrialized learning. Now, what we need nowadays is individual learning, which is where conformed to the child. We have an individual person or subject for what that child is interested in. When a kid wants to be a cop when they're in the first grade, maybe don't slam a Harvard book of law down on the table, but start teaching them their basic Mirandan rights. Or start teaching them, you know, their basic human rights, basic forms of law. And as they get older and you form and you nourish and feed that will to do something like that, they're not just going to give up, because they're going to look back and be like, well, I spent my whole life doing this. This is what I wanted to do, right? This is what I'm good at. And yes, we still need to teach them these basics, just in case it's not the full career they want to pursue. But we don't need to just teach them the basics of math and shit like that. We can teach them all that in a younger grade, but then we need to start teaching them what they want to learn. Because the only reason kids don't come into school is because we're told sit down for 7 hours a day and learn about some shit that you're not even going to remember at the end of class. You're going to go home and your parents are going to be like, what'd you learn at school today? You can tell them what you learned, but most of the time it's kind of a struggle to even remember how to do it. Like, I completed all of my mathematics from grade 9 to 12 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Not even, like a week and a half. Got 90-something on the test, so I did good.
Yeah.
But I forget, like, all of it and how to do it, because it was just crammed in my head, and information that I just didn't want to learn, but needed to learn. Like, I needed to learn how to measure the outside of a fucking square and how many square feet are inside of it. It's like, yes, that's good if I want to be a contractor, which if I said, hey, I want to work in construction, start teaching me that shit, right? But if I don't want to work construction or shit like that, teach me the basics of science or mathematics or whatever subject I would rather learn. And they try to do that in high school by letting you pick what subjects you get. But then again, you need to pick, I think it's like 4 subjects plus a recreational like study, whether it be like phys ed or art or some shit like that. But like,
nothing gets past
you still have to pick though. And during those picks, there are going to be ones that you are only picking because they're the least boring sounding options, or the options that least like most suit you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's what you want to do or learn. It's just what the options are to learn and what they give you. But we need to, and we have slowly started doing that. Like, even when I was in school, we've been changing the way. I went to a schooling program where I did kind of get individual learning, and I had hands-on, not like a personal teacher, but if I wanted to learn something, I'd go to my principal and be like, hey, I want to do this subject. And then he'd be like, oh, well, shit, this semester we have this going on. And like, or we could even maybe put a class into here for students who might want to learn. This sounds like a good idea. And they listen. They actually listen and input. I went to a schooling program known as KLC.
Yeah.
And they genuinely, kids leave that school, graduate, and they get jobs they wanted. They aren't out there stabbing each other up and selling drugs anymore, because the teachers there were legitimate people who straight up told them, smarten the fuck up, like legitimate people.
Yeah.
And also helped them, though, with what they wanted to do and not with what the teacher wanted to teach them. Yes, there was sometimes where, yeah, you might have to take this math test or because it's part of the school curriculum. But then again, it is valid to know basic mathematics and basic science and shit like that. We need to know the basics of shit. Simple addition and subtraction, or, you know, how to, like, cross multiply. Just simple stuff. But we don't need to get super far into it. Once we teach how to basically do it, we'll remember that basicness of the gist of, A, do this, and even if we got to use a calculator or a phone, we can still do that. We don't need to know the whole thing, because once it's taught to us in a short amount of time, normally in a month or so, we don't absorb it all. We just are learning so much that it's going through one ear and out the other, and we're just kind of writing and getting through it, which it's fucking up the way we, like, that's why nobody wants to have a job nowadays, is because we have no purpose. We don't know what the fuck we can do with what we've been given because there's no industrial jobs. It's done by machinery. So this industrialized learning that prepares us for an industrialized way of life doesn't really work anymore because we aren't in an industrial era. We're in a technological era where we have machines to do and build our industry. Yes, people need to make and operate these machines, or make the code to operate these machines. But those are people that are going to go into that field. And who, yet again, will probably go to college, which is the one point in your life where you're told, what do you want to do? And you can choose it. But even then, most of the college is bullshit. Literally, my brother, when he was in college, they had the same fucking lesson, like one day after another, like the same lesson. He literally went to class the next day, did the same fucking work. And no, it wasn't a mix-up. He even thought that he might have been in the wrong class that day. No. It's because kids don't show up in college, and teachers are like, oh, well, let's reteach it. But then it wastes what you're supposed to learn. But at the same time, too, there also is that good hand of, it's like, you learn it again, you're kind of going to remember it a little bit more, too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm talking on, but yeah, it's one of the things that bother me, is today's schooling. Because the next step for, well, I got to complete high school. Like, I only have, like, my 12th grade shit. I need to complete English. I technically should have graduated, but I failed because COVID and other shit. But, you know, due to laziness and COVID. But I got all my subjects done just before the end of the year, besides English, and that's when it started getting cold, and just seasonal acute depression started kicking in, which is not sad. And it's, where with the season change and the light change and temperature, just your emotions kind of, you get more depressed. It's,
Yeah.
It can happen to people even without depression, but it's called seasonal acute depression. And it's, yeah, I just don't like the winter seasons and stuff. It just makes me unmotivated to do anything. It's so cold, and it's like slippery outside, and you know, that's kind of why I didn't really go to school. But when I get a chance, I'm going back to the same school. I'm just completing my English, and then I want to get into some type of botany class, or a florist class on how to grow cannabis. I'm gonna go get my CanCell license, and I want to have my, I want to be a farmer kind of sorts. I want to be a big pot field farmer.
Okay.
Just have my crops and shit, and sit back, smoke a couple fucking joints, and a couple joints, that's an understatement, but sit back, smoke some joints, smoke some bowls, and just look at my crops and what I've made for myself. And just know this is happy, it's peaceful. Like, I never really thought myself as a farmer, but then again, it's like, in old age, I mean, it would be something nice, even in retirement, have that business and pass it on as a family business, and that be my legacy, is being one of the big cannabis distributors across Canada. Something like 710 or Tokyo Smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It being this recognizable brand that, like, stoners are just like, yeah, they got some really fucking good shit. Like NG, you know? Be known for having really good bongs or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Be known as the Master Toker.
Master Toker.
The Bogard. The Rasta, man. See, I'd consider myself a Rasta, and a lot of people, when they say that, they're like, you're white.
You get used to
And I
the
look at them and I
beastly
say,
smell, I hear.
so you're gonna complain at a black person for being Christian? Like, and being Rasta, because it's from Africa, or more Jamaica, but because it's from Africa, because of they have a white population, especially in South Africa, there are white Rastas and Rastafarians. It's not based on a skin color, it's based on the mindset of, well, being a stoner. It's kind of taken off the Bible, but everybody, a lot of Rastas have their own interpretation of being a Rastafarian, or Rastas. It's very tied in with cannabis, and that's why it's kind of that's why I say I'm kind of a Rastafarian. It's like, not really though. It's, I pray, not pray to cannabis, but look at cannabis almost though it's our life gift. It's a gift from whatever god there may be up there.
Could be a
I don't
monster
know if there's a god or
napping
anything
here
like
at
that, but
any
it's
time
a
of day.
gift from some sort of life that has been given to us to make us see the point of living, to make us feel happy and euphoric, to make us, sounds fucked up, but make us, you know, basically suck and fuck our way to happiness of we're all equal. That's what weed does, is makes the world more open, more relaxed, and more laid back, and less tense at each other's throats. Like, I remember when we got legalized first, and you could go to work a little bit stoned, you just couldn't bring the shit. Work was so slow, but within a few weeks, we got back to, like, normal as fuck, because people, when they were smoking weed, they got kind of used to getting up and going to work and shit like that, and doing that just took a couple weeks for people to kind of get in the mindset of, okay, I'm at work and stoned, like, this is how much I can smoke at work. And so, I remember waiting like 3 minutes for a fucking coffee once at Tim Hortons, bro. Which isn't that bad, it's 3 minutes, right? Like, but it's, there was no line. Like, that's kind of average to wait for coffee if there's people in front of you. But there was nobody in the store. So it was like 3 minutes for a coffee. Bitch was stunning like a motherfucker. There was no one in the drive-thru either. Because when I walked out, like when I walked in, there was no one going into the drive-thru. And while I was in there, no cars went to the parking lot. It was like, what, 9, 8 or 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
They're empty as fuck.
Says you need to.
There's...
Here's the first line of defense.
Never mind. Ich spreche das Spiel in du Deutschen, das sprechen Sie Deutsch? Du schneiden die Feiderlein, Furtherloin, du schneiden. Yeah, my German, I'm not even sure if that's correct. Like, yeah, probably not, but I am German. But nein means no, it doesn't mean Nazi. You know why you relating them? Because they're German. But do you know 90% of quote-unquote Nazis didn't even hear the words "the final solution"? Actually, and even when they were showed videos of the death camps, they were fake propaganda that showed the Jews playing and like playing games and like soccer and laughing and smiling and running around. They were indoctrinated to think, yes, the Jews were bad, but they didn't know they were death camps. They didn't know what Hitler was truly doing, most of them. Only the really high-ups. Nah, bitch. You out. Get the fuck out of my party. That's that shit that, My family's German. I am German on my dad's side. And so a lot of my grandparents get looked at like Nazis and shit because they were in, well, the Nazi army. And it's unfortunately something they had to do. It was either join the Nazi army and fight for your country or get imprisoned. And they didn't know that they were killing the Jews. Yeah, the Jews took over the German economy and they knew that they were kind of fighting back for that and the rest of the world didn't like it. But then again, if someone took over your economy so your own people can't even use your money, you'd probably tell them to get the fuck out too. Like, this is your country. I don't care how racist it sounds at the end of the day, we are still prone to look out for ourselves. I believe in equality. But when you're on my country's land, and you're coming in not allowing my country's own people, the people of the country, to be in hold of their own economic values, then yeah, that's kind of worth not killing all of them, but starting a war over. I get why the war started, and why a lot of people fought to protect Germany. My grandfather said, I did it so we could protect our economy. But I didn't know that they were killing the Jews in masses like that.
Keep going.
When he said all we were told really was, they're the enemy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he like knew like there was all this propaganda about Jewish people, but growing up, he didn't really believe it. It was kind of like he looked at Jewish people as though they were the boogeyman, like a story, like as though they didn't actually exist, but like people were in costumes to make it look like they were. They described them literally as like beasts, not as human. And the indoctrination that most of them went through because of that is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So like people that say that shit, they're like, oh, it's just a joke, no need to be a snowflake. And it's like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you're only saying that because you don't understand the history or have really any sense of empathy or sympathy for another human being and the struggle that their culture went through. Like, if someone gets offended because I say nigga or some shit like that, I'm just telling them shut the fuck up, because my people were called that too. I might be white, but like, 2013, up until then we was called that, so, I mean, even now we're called mutts and stuff like that, because we're not pure native and not pure white, so neither of them accept us, nor do the blacks, because we're white. To them, they just see white. They don't see oppression in Native American, they just see, oh, your skin color's white, you got white privilege. White people see us, they're kind of chill with us, and then, like, you tell them you're Native American, and it's like, you don't really feel like you're fully in with them, because it's like, they treat you like you're a completely different culture at that point, and then, and then the fucking natives, they tell you you're not native enough, and some of the whites tell you, you're not white enough, right? Like, you're not native enough. Oh, sorry, my people were raped more than yours and went through more cultural genocide than your people, and you guys got to keep your skin color and native tongue, but you see, that shit was beaten and raped out of us.
What are you supposed to do? Live in a hut?
Yeah, like, what do you want me to do? It's, racism works different over here. Like, yes, we have black racism, like, where it's just white against black, but you don't really see that over here. You more or less, people are more or less complaining about the refugees and shit. Like, it's more left, and I kind of agree with that. Like, it's like, why are you giving refugees these housing for free in these nice-ass houses when our veterans are on the street type shit? But, I don't know, man, our countries are just fucked. Like, completely fucked. And we say that a lot, but, like, how fucking hard is it to listen to your people? It isn't. It really isn't. It's not that hard to listen to a majority and go with what the majority wants. It's simple. But every time they make a fucking political decision, somehow 90% of the society is like, I don't know why the fuck they did that. But somehow, all these votes and bids get in there when every single person you hear is like, yeah. For example, when Trump got in office, everybody was like, how the fuck did Trump get in? Like, how the fuck did he get elected? So how the fuck did that many people vote for him? If 90% of the world was like, yeah, why did he get elected?
Yeah.
Right? And that's how we work. And the reason he got elected, bro, it's kind of sad and sickening, is because the new wave of 18-year-olds who were able to vote and shit, and because of memes. He won because of memes. That is so sickening. We chose our government, and well, not our, but the states chose the person to run their country based on how much of a fucking doofus he looked like. Even Biden won because of the memes of him being geriatric. That is why he won. And it all is based off of who is politically in the spotlight. And everybody takes everything as a joke. Everybody's like, it's not too serious. And that's because we try to make the connection of, it's online. It's just online. When we forget that when we're online, yes, online is digital. But us as human beings are real.
What about that teenage girl that she's like the head of climate change, but it's all because of the meme? What's it, Greta? She's literally
some shit like
because
that.
of the meme. She's the head
feminism?
of
There are literally so many feminists. Now, I believe in feminism, right? I believe in the first and the second wave.
Most men don't know that feminism can be, taught through.
It can be good. There are 3 different waves of feminism, though. There's first wave, which was basically for women to be able to live on their own and drive and this and that. Yeah, and vote. And then there was the second one where women should be able to get equal pay and should be able to work the same jobs and be able to, you know, walk around with their shirt topless and not be catcalled. Then there's the third wave, which is based on untrue statistics that they keep spreading and misforming these young, impressionable women about.
I don't believe
like
the third
the
wave
age gap.
even is feminism anyway.
No, it's modern day feminism, as we call it. It's called third wave modernized feminism.
I don't like
because
I don't like to label it as feminism because it isn't really.
Well,
it's just
unfortunately, a lot of feminist groups do associate themselves with that, so it is the third wave, unfortunately. But they are purely on hating men and trying to get more privilege than men and not make it equal. They're trying to get special privilege because they have a vagina. Yeah. Like men can't hit women, or men shouldn't be able to do this because a woman does this or that or the other. You know, it's more or less complaining about personal issues rather than complaining about human rights.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this dude catcalled me down the street. So what? Your tits are hanging out. You say you should dress. You should be able to dress the way you want to dress. So if you're going to be showing skin and someone finds you attractive, how the fuck is it their fault when you are purposely trying to make yourself attractive? Like I told a chick, why do you put on makeup in the morning? And she's like, oh, I know where you're going with this. I don't do it to make myself attractive to other people. But I said, you make yourself seem attractive to yourself, though, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't just put on makeup for no reason. You put on makeup to even look beautiful for yourself. Yeah. Who cares if it's for other people, but even if it's just for you, right? At the end of the day, though, your goal is still to make yourself look more sexualized or appealing sexually and look more, because it still comes down to sexuality. Beauty is tied in with, you know. So you are trying to make yourself more sex appealed. So if someone is more sex appealed towards you, how are you going to get offended when they say, damn, you look fine in that outfit?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if a bitch walked up to me and said, damn, you looking fine in that outfit, fruity or not, my ass is going to feel good for the day. Yeah. I just got a compliment. Mm-hmm. Take it and go the other way. Say thanks.
Yeah.
Or I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even in a situation like that, I understand the sentence, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I understand it, even in a situation like that. But when they're still fighting over shit like the wage gap, which has been disproven by multiple groups of feminism that isn't third wave. It has been, like, proven that the statistics were showed on a male doctor who had been in profession longer.
Yeah.
And that's why he had more pay, because he was more experienced. Same with pretty much any other field. They have found an inconsistency between professions.
The way they made it sound is that there's a big gap. But the reason why they got the statistics is because they rallied up all the men and all the women that work. They didn't do it as a percentage when it comes to like the median or the average. They're doing it off head count. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're doing off head count, and they didn't do it off of like equal position, like a fresh starting doctor with another fresh starting doctor.
Yeah.
I believe the one they tried to do it between a nurse and a doctor. And I said, no shit, a nurse is going to get paid less because they're a fucking nurse. And they're like, a nurse is a female doctor. I said, no, a nurse is a doctor's assistant. A female doctor is a doctor.
Yeah.
That is a female doctor.
The assistants.
Yeah, there's male nurses as well. Yeah. They're called nurses.
Yeah.
They're not referred to as a doctor, just like a female doctor is called doctor, like my family doctor. I'm not going to give her last name because you're on stream, but like, you know, like, for example, say a random letter, Dr. L, for like, say, Dr. Lindsay or some shit like that. There's still females. And on average, they do say that men get paid more in the jobs they work. Yes, because men work more hazard pay jobs. High risk, high reward. Men are primary draft into the military, and men have to pay child support. So even if we did get paid a little bit more, if we're paying for your
women
food,
do as well, but on average, men are the ones that pay child support.
On average, right? So if you're paying for your child, your food, your house, your car, then damn fucking right we should get a little bit more. Because most of the time, how it works is, and no matter how much people want to say, oh, that's how old school it is, most of the time the woman stays home with the child while the father works. That's just how it normally is in a relationship.
And most women nowadays are going back to those values anyway.
And it's good. Not that I should be able to beat you over the head with a broomstick because you didn't cook me fucking food when I walked in, but having a family, yes, a parent, like a structured household.
Doesn't matter if it's male or female, just someone there for the kids, really.
Exactly, right? Doesn't matter if it's like gay couple or not, as long as there's someone raising your kid at home.
Yeah.
But men work more. More women will just sit on their ass while the man pays the bills, pays for the groceries, and pays for this or that.
Ass. They have different roles. They work, but they work at home.
But for example, I tell a woman, while I'm working, you better be cleaning and cooking.
Yeah.
Not like a threat, but like, if I'm gonna work, you better clean and cook.
Yeah, that's the balance out.
That's a fair trade. If I'm going to break my back to bring money, then you should do something too. A relationship isn't one-sided. It's two-sided. We work together type shit. So if someone's not doing that and says, "Oh, I'm not your mother," then I'm gonna say, "Huh? Well, then I'm gonna go live with my mother. See ya." Type shit. Because I don't need someone who I am the father of.
Yeah.
I need someone who is going to be either the father or the mother of my child, not another child to take care of.
Yeah.
I need someone who can, and not that they'd have to work, but they'd have to do something to be able to show that they can provide, or at least put their role. Or else I'm not doing that. I don't carry useless baggage. It don't matter how good the sex is or how emotionally attached. If you are not able to meet my needs, or not even my needs, but basic expectations of just equality, then I'm not going to be part of something like that. Equality cannot be given just to one gender.
I forgot. I get nunchucks for beating this boss.
Yeah, boy. But equality can't be like... The woman, modern day feminism, they say they fight for equality, right? And they say women should be able to do this and men shouldn't be able to do this. That's always what it is. Women do this, men can't do this. Why do you do this, men? You should stop doing this. It's more hating on men and telling men what we can and cannot say or do, which some of it is valid, right? But most of it is just personal tissue issues because someone has had a dude stare at their chest, or one creepy dude hit on them, or someone has had one...
What's that? These motherfuckers do so much damage.
They've had like one bad experience, and then all of a sudden they hate men. And it's like, fuck off, right? Like if we were to say, for example, a sentence I love that women get complained at: "You woman," or "all woman."
Yeah.
Oh, they flip the fuck out from that. But all men are just dogs. All men want is just to sleep with you. All men want to do is just get in your pants. Men are manipulative. You know how many times I have heard us based in a general population as though we are all the fucking same? But the same woman that is doing that is trying to say that women shouldn't be categorized and looked at all the same, that we're all individually beautiful. Like, how many bitches are gonna make fun of a dude's height, or a dude's dick size, or a dude's weight? And that's not body shaming. That's not body shaming. Like, I had a girl...
Like, one thing that I don't get is when, like, there's, like, I've seen on TikTok, there's an overweight woman, and they were like, "Oh, you're beautiful." I'm like...
You're beautiful. No, you're fat.
Yeah, why are you, what's it, making something that is... You could see
you're
that it's unhealthy, beautiful.
Yeah, you're only saying that because you see she's unhealthy and you're wanting to give her positive words.
Probably because you're living an unhealthy style yourself, you know?
And and I'm not saying that fat people can't be beautiful or chubby people can't be beautiful. They can be very beautiful. But when you see someone who looks like... You shouldn't support someone who is purposely, making themselves obese. I get there are people with glandular problems and people who have eating disorders and shit like that who genuinely can't help their weight because their metabolism or whatever.
Yeah.
And there are beauty in these people, internal beauty too. But we can't just keep giving people participation trophies because they're the ugly little duckling. You know what I mean? If you're ugly, you're ugly. You know how many times chicks have said, "Ew, no, you ugly, you ain't my type." And I'm far from ugly. I know I'm good looking. Like, I might not be the best looking, like, Chadwick Tatum type motherfucker, or Channing Tatum or whatever the fuck, but, like, I'm pretty decent looking. Like, I got nice facial structure,
Yeah.
nice eyes, you know, I have a soft tone of voice.
And in a way, I could see most men actually go for women that are like most men that settle go for women that are around the same their range of, you know, prettiness or ugliness or whatever. But most women want to go for men that are way
Exactly, right?
What's it more? When it comes to staying in a relationship, they want to be with a man that's like super out of their league when it comes to looks.
Exactly right. I need a man who does this, that, and the other. So where's my demands with a woman that I need to do that? Because if I had those demands, now I'm being called sexist and oppressive.
I don't really care that much of looks. Obviously, it is a thing that.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna get with someone my whole life that I don't feel sexually attracted to, and I'm not attracted to.
Because regardless of what men say, you know, when it comes to attractiveness, we do go for more the physical side than the emotional. When it comes to, like,
just
the
because
initial attractiveness, it's not like throughout the whole relationship, but initially, yeah. So.
Like for example, there was this one girl, bad as fuck, kept throwing herself at me.
Yeah.
Now I'm not gonna lie, I did hit once, right? But like, I was not looking in.
Yeah, there's better people that they're not relationships.
Yeah, because and I told her, I was like, this is kind of just like us fooling around. Like, I don't feel like commitment. We just don't click that way. But we're like sex. Hey, if you want to have that shit, pointless sex is my thing. But like, her one friend was.
That's what she's advertising anyway. It's not like she's advertising a relationship.
Right, and that's her one friend I really liked. This girl had braces, glasses, nerdy looking chick. The other chick looked like Stacy from the cheerleading team, and the one girl looked like Brenda from the like the literature club, right? But she was so nice, and there was just a certain beauty and charm to her. Like, she wasn't an ugly girl by any means, like, but she did have those nerd, like, she's not the most attractive, like, what most dudes would say, but she was wonderful. Like, her and I got along so much. We had so much in common. We loved paintballing and mudding and fishing and all that shit. And we were like, I fucked with it. Found out she was a lesbian, so I respected that, and I just kind of stepped back. But it made a lot more sense. It's like, oh, that's she was the type that'd walk around in like the flannel jacket and like the denim, and she'd like grab at her crotch like a dude adjusting his dick. She didn't give a fuck. She'd like adjust, like, I don't know if there's there to adjust though. That's the thing, like the lips, like
I don't know.
Right? But she'd adjust her shit, right? Like, grab better junk and shit. But yeah, like, chill as fuck, lady. Like, but it's I can't sit there my whole life though and fuck someone who is extremely overweight or sounds like a Minecraft skeleton or, you know, is like super unattractive to me. It's just, why would I do that? Like, if there's no physical attraction to someone, and that's not all that should stem a relationship, but like, we all lose our looks.
Yeah.
But you should at least be sexually attracted while you're young and having a lot of sex.
Yeah.
Like, there also does need to be that emotional thing too, and a lot of people, they don't differentiate that they love the feeling of being loved over they love being, like, that they're loved by someone, or that they love someone. So a lot of people get that confused, and I did when I was younger too. Like, after I lost my virginity to this chick, I thought I loved this chick. No, there's a difference. Difference between loving and wanting to be loved. Like, loving the feeling of it. And I realized after quite a few relationships didn't work out and were cut short because just toxicity between them, that it wasn't that, it was exactly what I said, it wasn't that I loved them, because I was able to move on to the next person as soon as they were there. It was that I loved being loved. I loved feeling affection and being held and being, you know, being kissed and stuff like that. That's what I needed. And then and there I kind of realized, like, I need to stop having pointless sex here. I need to, like, stay single for a bit, and I just need to keep my head straight. And if someone comes my way, they come my way. But, you know, don't dive into shit too deep. Even my one partner, we didn't have sex for weeks. weeks. We even talked about it as soon as we were getting together. I was like, we should take it a little bit slower though. Like I want to see a lot of it go without trying to fucking like, you know, resisting that urge, just so it's not all about that. And still they kind of treated me like shit. And, like they dumped me on Pride Day, like the day of the Pride Parade. We were getting ready to go and everything, and they dumped me because they almost missed a bus. And you know, us being literally right with 16-minute walk from the Kingston Center, which is literally like another 16-minute, it would have took like 20-30 minutes to walk from where I was to where the Pride Parade was. It probably would have took like the amount of time of the bus. If not, maybe like a little bit more. But she started freaking out, went out the front door and said, "We're done," and I didn't really hear them, but you know, it was just like, alright, done. I don't really care. Like, but I did at the same time because they slept in my bed and shit. Spent like, this was the first partner I actually had like fucked and then woken up in the morning and then be in my arm and shit. Like this was the first partner that I had that experience with. So it was like, yeah, like waking up in the morning next to them, like making breakfast type shit. So it was a very hard thing, you know, for me to like get past, but I kept in mind, yes, I might have loved them a bit, but they didn't treat me the best. And no matter how much they want to say it's my fault, they did a lot of stuff too. That could have been easily avoided by, you know, telling other people or stating basic things at first. And, you know, instead of just having an excuse of why it was wrong. Like their big thing was, because I'd say she. Because it's heterosex, I'd be fucking pussy at night. Like I'm fucking pussy, like twisting some nipples on some titties. Like it's a female's body, so my brain is going women. Because they weren't very like they were dominant to me, but they still fucked like a woman. Like it wasn't no strap-on type shit or anything like that. Yeah. So look at them as a woman. My brain. Their mom, everybody else, and they were openly like non-binary, whatever the fuck. They said they would call them she or her. And so would even my mom. So would everybody else. But if I did it once in every few other times that I'd call her she, like every other time that I'd call like them him, or like use their name or they or them pronouns, as soon as I said her or she, they would flip the fuck out. And the one time I even said he. And I was kind of a little drunk, and I slurred my words, and I said he. And they freaked the fuck out. Like, I mean, flip the fuck out. Like, I told you not to call me she. And I said, I meant to say he. And she's like, no, you didn't. I was like, bitch, do you hear my slurring right now? I said he. Sorry that you heard a at the beginning of he, because I'm drunk. Like, and even if I did, their big excuse after was, oh, well, you used one pronoun too much. I like when people switch it up. No, you like to be complicated and like to bitch at people. Because the whole thing was that I am a he, and if you can't accept me or see me for who I am, then I don't want to date you. Okay. And the thing is, like, even my partner now, I'm debating what the fuck to do, because they're supposed to come down in the summer. But I was introduced by my ex to him, and we were gonna have like a three-way type shit. Cause like we weren't dating at the time, but we were still friends and fucking around and shit. And we were gonna have like a three-way type shit. They introduced me to Darwin. Darwin became my new partner. Mm-hmm. But Darwin never likes to talk on mic, never stays online too much. And when he's online on PlayStation, he kind of ignores me. And it seems like whenever I'm just like trying to get him on mic, he always logs off or whatnot. Yeah. But we talk, and he says, like, oh, you'll get on mic, and he says he's going to be down here. But, like, and we've all talked together, too, on mic, so I know it's not her fucking with me, but it's like, I almost feel like, are they fucking with me, though? Like, and that's another part, like, I got reactive attachment disorder, too, so I already have problems with relationships and losing people. And so it's constant stress that I feel like I'm going to be just fucked with. Like, I remember one time there was this dude who sent me pictures of, like, him in his, like, underwear and shit, and he was from my school. And, well, at the time, I was, like, one of the only gay dudes, and I was like, well, fuck, sure. years later, like actually this happened months ago. We're outside of the fucking mall. This dude's talking about how I sent him dick pics and shit because he was like staring at my mom and laughing at her. Well, literally, you know, all my friends are outside the mall, and he's trying to make fun of me to all these kids he thinks are gonna laugh at my mom. My mom's tweaking on him. He goes to like go at my mom. She threw a cup of coffee at him, and he goes to go at her, and I step at the car, and the motherfucker stepped the fuck back. Him and his buddy, I grabbed my fucking hatchet. The cab driver and guts out the car. He's like, "Is there a problem here, boys?" And I grabbed my fucking hatchet off my waist, and I said, "I don't think there is one. I don't think there's a fucking problem here anymore." And so we all get in the car. But before that, because they're like, what is he going on about, Josh? But you sent him dick pics. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm openly gay. Motherfucker said that he was gay, sent me a picture of him in his fucking orange tighty whities, and said he was gay too, sent me a dick pic, and then I sent him nudes back.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And the only thing I said was, well, have fun when I turn 18, or you turn 18, because you'll be in possession of child pornography. So... No, I'm gonna ask this motherfucker when he turns 18 if he still has that picture. I was like, you still got those pictures of me? Okay, well, I'm gonna get the cops to raid you and search your shit for any fucking nudes that you might have your exes or yourself, and you're gonna get charged with child porn. You have a good one, bud.
Bruh.
Yep, and that's what I'm doing, because I'm an adult now. Even if I have nudes, so thank God I don't have my old phone, because if I had nudes of myself, I could even be charged with possession of child pornography. Even if it's of myself and I've turned 18. That's pretty fucked up, eh? You know, actually, nothing that's fucked up. Over here, say you were abducted by a child rapist, right?
Yeah.
He rapes you, and you're at his house, and he falls asleep, and you escape, and you steal his car to get to the nearest police station. You would get more time, hypothetically, say the cop was actually an asshole enough to charge you for this, because sometimes, like, they do justify breaking a crime in order to, because a crime is happening to you. For example, if you murder someone because they're trying to murder you, it's more justifiable that you broke that law because it was to save yourself or other people. But hypothetically, say the cop was a douchebag and wanted to charge the kid would get more time for stealing the pedophile's car than the pedophile would for raping him.
What the fuck?
Yeah, a juvenile gets more time here in Canada for stealing a car than a pedophile does for raping a juvenile. That's pretty fucked. Yeah.
I'm gonna end the stream here. I've done everything except from the last mission of the main story. And maybe a couple of the big bosses. Alrighty. See you guys.